Today you will learn solving inequalities using multiplication and division, and this is really an important concept, and make sure that you constantly pause the video, understand, and rewind and continue. The question is asking you to solve the inequality and graph your solution, and we are focused on question number 20. So question number 20 is asking you to solve the inequality. The first important concept you have to understand is to get the x alone. You cannot graph it unless you get the x alone. So which in this case, you are looking at the question where it is being divided by -5. The opposite of being divided by -5 is to multiply by -5 on the left and on the right. Dot implies I'm multiplying. So anything that you're dividing you want to get rid of, you do the opposite of multiplying. Now you want to write this one step. When you multiply, write this down. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you reverse the inequality symbol. So make sure that you understand this one tip which you have to apply constantly. So when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to reverse the inequality symbol. So in this question, since I'm trying to get rid of the -5, I am multiplying by a -5. So I am multiplying in this case by a negative number. So which means the inequality symbol that looks like this has to be reversed. If you multiply or divide by a positive number, then there is nothing you have to worry about. So in this case, -5 on the top, I'm going to just stick a 1 on the bottom. -5 divided by -5 cancels, so I'm going to cancel them out. So on the left side, all I have is just an x. And on the right side, 7.5 times -5, use your calculator to get the answer to give you 37.5. The question was a -7.5. So in this case, it's going to be -7.5 times -5 to give you a positive 37.5. And now, since you multiplied by a negative number, you have to reverse the inequality symbol. So reverse that to face the other direction. The equal sign still tags along. So the only thing that you're focused on is instead of facing this direction, your inequality symbol is now facing the other direction. So once you get your answer, you got your x alone. Now the last step is your graphing part. So you have 37.5, couple of numbers to the right. So I got a 38 and a 39 and a couple of numbers to the left. So I got a 36 and a 35. And in this case, it is going to be an closed circle on 37.5. You can eliminate answer choices just by looking at your open circle and your closed circle. This is going to be closed because of the equal sign. And since your variable is on the left, all you have to do is match the way that your direction of inequality is pointing, and this is your answer. So your x could take on any value that is bigger than 37.5 or equal to 37.5. Now let's focus on question number 18. You want to find what k is. Always focus on the variable. Your objective is to get the k alone. So look at the question. K is being divided by 7. So the opposite of dividing by 7 is to multiply by 7 on the left and multiply by 7 on the right. So if you stick a 1 on the bottom, 7 on the top and 7 on the bottom cancels out. 7 divided by 7 gives you a 1. So all you are left on the right side is just your k. And on the left side, you got 7 times 0.07 to give you 0.49. The symbol in this case stays the same. I am not going to reverse the inequality because I did not multiply by a negative. I only reverse the inequality provided I multiply or divide by a negative number. In this case, they stay the same. So you have done the solving. Now comes the graphing. So the graphing in this case is going to be 0.49 is my starting point. A couple of numbers to the right. I'm going to just check it as a 1 and a 2 and a 0 and a -1. So now all I have to do is my k is less than, and it is going to be a closed circle. It's going to be closed because of the equal sign, and k is less than 0.49, and in this case the symbol is going to look like this. You cannot match the arrow with the arrow because the variable is not on the left. You can match exactly the way the arrow is pointing provided your variable is on the left. If not, it's the other direction. Question number 26. Negative 2t greater than negative 1.22. So I want to find out what t is. So I have to get rid of the negative 2. Negative 2 is multiplying t. There is nothing between the 2 and the t, so that implies you are multiplying. The opposite in this case is to divide by negative 2 on the left and divide by negative 2 on the right. Negative 2 cancels out. Any number divided by itself gives you a 1. 1 times t, this gives me a t. Now negative 1.22 divided by negative 2, stick them in the calculator, you're going to get 0.61. Now we have to focus on the inequality symbol. Since you divided by a negative number, you have to switch the way the arrow is pointing. So I'm going to reverse the inequality symbol. So remember, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you switch the inequality symbol. You reverse it. So this is your solving part, and now comes your graphing. 0.61, 1, 2, 0, -1. And in this case, it is going to be an open circle on 0.61 because you do not have the equal sign, and I can match the arrow with the arrow. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I can match the arrow with the arrow provided my variable is on the left side. So t could take on any number that is less than 0.61. Okay, question number 32. Write the verbal sentence as an inequality. That's the first part. Then you need to solve the inequality. And the third part is you need to graph it. So the first part is the quotient of v. Quotient implies you are dividing. So quotient of v and -9. So the quotient of v and -9 looks like this. The quotient is the answer to a division question. So it's less than. So this is less than -18. And remember the word less than. L is my capital L tilted sideways. So the first part, writing it, is done. The second part, you need to solve it. So you need to find what v is. So that means you want to get rid of the -9, which is tagging along. So this is on the bottom, which means you're dividing. The opposite is you multiply by -9 on the left and do the same thing on the right. So -18 times -9 is going to give you 162. And -9 divided by -9 is going to give you a 1. And 1 times v is just going to give you a v. Now you have to focus on your inequality. Ask yourself, should you switch it? Should you not switch it? Okay, in this case, you were multiplying by a negative number. Since you were multiplying by a negative number, yes, you do have to switch the symbol, facing the other direction. So this is your solving part. The last part is your graphing. So your graphing is going to look like 162, 163, 164, couple of numbers to the left, couple of numbers to the right. You can put more numbers, but in this case, I'm fine. So now we have, this is going to be an open circle on 162. You will not shade it because you don't have the equal sign. And v is greater than 162. And if you want to know which direction the arrow has to be pointing, watch this one. The arrow and the arrow. They both point the same direction if your variable happens to fall on the left. That is one way to pick your answer choices. question number 44. Pause the video, read the question, understand the question, and also make sure that you're writing the word EOC next to the question number 44. An online store offers free shipping for orders of 75 or more. So what it means is, if you order $75 or more than $75, you get free shipping. So you have 4 items in your cart that cost $12.99 each. Which inequality describes the additional amount in dollars you must spend to get the free shipping? So let's find for the 4 items, and each item is $12.99. So what you have to do is, for the 4 items, it's going to be $12.99 times 4. So $12.99 times 4 is going to give you $51.96. So this entire thing is going to be $51.96. So you have ordered for $51.96. So the question is $51.96 plus the additional X amount of money that you have to order, and together they must be greater than or equal to 75. So this is the inequality you need to get. They're not asking you to solve it. Look at the answer choices. They are talking in terms of X. You need to be careful. So $51.96 have been ordered plus X amount of dollars must be greater than or equal to 75 to qualify for the free shipping. Now, once you set up this equation, your inequality, you need to do your one step. So minus 51.96 on both sides. Cancel, you get X, which is greater than or equal to $23.04. Now go back and look at your answer choices. So X, the amount that you have to order has to be greater than or equal to $23.04, and D will be the correct answer. And this comes from lesson 1 of chapter 6.